Hello and welcome to this special conversation. 2 hours, exactly 2 hours from now, the two of us will join you live once again from the Edgbaston cricket ground for the most important second test match because India 0-1 down in the series. India started well. First 4 days, India was in control, but thereafter, what you saw, day 5 belonged to England. Despite having opportunities, India was not able to convert. And at the end of the day, in sport, it's winner takes all. Gargi and I joining you and the entire team here, all of us want India to do well, make a comeback. But the question that we are asking us on this show is, has Leeds made India defensive? You were part of both press conferences. We've seen the body language of players. We've seen the discourse or the discussion around the playing 11. The question is, has kind of Leeds, the result of Leeds, impacted India to turn defensive at the start of the second test?
Absolutely, because now that you see the difference, I know that after that Leeds test, we were constantly talking about the fact that while you have a lot of issues still in that team, one of the biggest positives is that your top order is firing, your top 5 are firing, the batters are doing well, and in the next game you can actually drop one of the batters and get in a specialist bowler. That's the conversation that we were constantly having. We were talking about a possible inclusion of Kuldeep Yadav or any other specialist bowler, but now that seems to have completely flipped. We're still looking at a cushion in the batting lineup. If we're talking about, and this has been spoken about many times since the past 2 days, is the fact that the Indian team is looking for 2 spinners. Now, if that second spinner is a Washington Sundar, it is quite evident that the Indian management is once again going with a cushion in the batting lineup. So when you think of that versus what we expected, a Kuldeep Yadav to come in and a Shardul Thakur being dropped possibly, maybe a Karun Nair being dropped and Arshdeep Singh coming in. When you think of those combinations, what we expected versus what is actually, from the reports that we've been hearing, what is actually happening is quite different.
She makes this important point about Kuldeep Yadav, and we've been talking a lot, and you guys have asked us a million questions on Kuldeep Yadav over the last few days, and you can sense that the team is kind of on the edge. You know, they want to balance out, and even the captain said that yes, there was a question asked in the press conference that 7 batters and 4 out-and-out bowlers, and he said yes, you want that to happen, but at the same time you need to think of the batting, the lower order. He's kind of underconfident. Can the lower order go in and contribute? Does that influence that Washington Sundar selection? But on the other hand, is the Arshdeep Singh Washington Sundar combination a well thought out one? Is India using that as a bit of an aggressive ploy, that Arshdeep Singh bowling over the wicket will create the footmarks? Ravindra Jadeja can also use the footmarks, so can Washington Sundar. In the first test match we saw that had there been an offie, unfortunately Ravindra Jadeja was bowling, when he was bowling to the left-handers, he was able to use the rough. As an off-spinner, he wasn't able to use the rough. So is that also a bit of or are we kind of, let's put it this way, are we underestimating Washington Sundar as a bowler?
Maybe we are. Maybe we are, because we have been, for the past couple of days, we have been quite focused on Kuldeep Yadav.
It's as if Kuldeep has that magic wand and Washington Sundar is more of a batter.
What if Washington Sundar comes in and proves us all wrong? That could very well happen, and you want it to happen. There's no reason for thinking that Washington Sundar should not come in and take wickets. But at the same time, when you really think about it, Washington Sundar being in that team means they are still thinking about that batting lineup. They are still thinking about the batting and putting a big score on the scoreboard. You see that the lower middle order did not fire in the last game. In neither of the innings, you saw a crucial partnership forming at the lower middle order or in the later stages of the match. But now it looks like it that, see, we've been too focused on Kuldeep Yadav. And Washington Sundar, when we come to it, he can give you that batting. Ryan and Descartes came out at the press conference and spoke about how he's been batting really well. So there's a lot of clarity that it's the batting that is being focused on. I don't think it's necessarily the bowling.
Well, let me push you a little bit more. Do you reckon that, given that this is a batting wicket, this is a high-scoring ground, India down 0-1, Lords, you have a Jasprit Bumrah coming back, India will be happy going in with a draw to Lords, down 0-1, Bumrah back.
I don't think they should go for a draw. At this point in time,
No, I'm not saying they'll go for a draw. But
if you
when
do
you
it,
think about
yeah.
it, that okay, we go to Lords, not losing Edgbaston, where the history is against us, and we go to Lords where a Bumrah's back, Manchester, Bumrah's back, so you have your full throttle team back. Will you be okay that okay, you know what, we've gotten a Washington Sundar, we've strengthened the batting, we are silently confident that we will not lose this one. Is that something acceptable?
It's acceptable, but again,
Okay.
taking hints from the body language and the things that Shubman Gill came out and said in that press conference. He was asked about that question that 1-1 will be good, but if it's 2-0, it's going to be bad for you guys. And Shubman Gill, there was that little bit of discomfort for a split second there. He adjusted himself, then he thought about it and answered it and said that we'd like to win this test match. So gathering hints from all of that, everything that has been said in the past 2 days, India will want to win this match. India, and I'm not sure if they can do that, because Shubman Gill also said that 20 wickets, you need to pick those 20
without
wickets.
Jasprit Bumrah, can this team pick 20 wickets? That's my
point.
question to you. That
Yeah.
without Jasprit Bumrah, if Jasprit Bumrah isn't playing, you anyway have a bit of a handicap in picking 20 wickets. So is it not better that because Jasprit Bumrah is not there, you don't lose?
Yeah. But Jasprit, it's such a confusing time to be kya hua?
No, nothing.
No,
Because
okay.
see,
thought something
my point is, if you think that look, we don't have a Jasprit Bumrah in this test, but Lords, we will have a Jasprit Bumrah back. Manchester, we will have a Jasprit Bumrah back. Let us not try to get over aggressive and get 0-2 down, because then it becomes a humongous ask. Rather, we will take a chance of winning this, but even if we don't, we will have the batting to salvage this and save it and go to Lords 0-1. I don't see that as a bad strategy.
No, it's not a bad strategy at all. You can take it easy for this test match. You can go in, score those runs, get those wickets. Even a draw's good enough, I think, at this point. But
Edgbaston,
Edgbaston,
English fortress.
No, but still, what I'm thinking of is, why would you want to leave it to the last three test matches? Why not try to get a win here? Yes, you do not have a Jasprit Bumrah, but Akashdeep, Arshdeep Singh and Mohammad Siraj still can do a lot of damage. That is why I was constantly talking about having Kuldeep Yadav in your team, because if without a Jasprit Bumrah, now you get an Arshdeep Singh in, he will get you wickets, Kuldeep Yadav will get you wickets, and if Ravindra Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav are bowling simultaneously,
So when you say Arshdeep Singh, you reckon or you
Karun
suggest ahead of Prasidh Krishna?
Yes, because that seems the likely option. It does not look like Prasidh Krishna is in the scheme of things.
Is it? I mean, that is.
What do you think about
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I've reported this, that they were mulling that change, that Arshdeep for Prasidh, but Prasidh did create wicket taking. Did create wicket taking opportunities in Leeds, and on the one hand you are talking about security, on the one hand you are talking about a long rope. It is the first test match of the series. The chap picked 3 wickets. In the second test match you say horses for courses. Is that something that is actually going with the talk?
Yeah, I said this yesterday. We did one of the lives, and I said that the fact that Shubman Gill ahead of that first test match came out and said, I want there to be security within the team. I want there to be a healthy environment. I want there to be communication, and most importantly, players who have potential will be getting a long rope. Prasidh Krishna, yes, there was a lot of indisciplined bowling, but he also showed you glimpses of brilliance. So he has that ability. He can come out and take wickets for you. But at the same time now, the reports that we're hearing, the report that you did, and everything that we've been seeing on the ground in the practice session happening, it seems contrarian. It seems like India is now picking a reactive team. They're reacting to what happened in that Leeds test. And now you're suddenly looking at 4 wholesome changes in the team. So it's very contrarian what has happened.
And now can we say with a degree of certainty, we put out a video at 10 a.m. 2 hours back. You guys can go and check the video, where we showed you that Sai Sudarshan and Shubman Gill were fielding at the slips. We've showed you that Sai and Gill even interchanged positions. Sai started first, then went to third. Gill was fielding at second. So they were interchanging field positions. Now we know this, that match day -2, and you've seen that video with Gargi again talking about that slip cordon where Karun Nair was fielding in the first slip position. Karun did not turn up for practice yesterday. No. It was an optional training session. Now, can you now say that, okay, at this point in time, couple of hours before the start of the second test, Karun Nair's position is not secure and Sai Sudarshan rather is certainly playing. Karun Nair might give way or could give way to Nitish Kumar Reddy.
Now look, if you talk about that Karun Nair versus Sai Sudarshan debate or discourse, whatever you want to call it, Sai Sudarshan gave you that very important partnership with KL Rahul, and that was very important in negating that new ball that actually helped Shubman Gill come in later. He got out very early, but after that Rishabh Pant also got his 100. So it was an important partnership. Sai Sudarshan gave you a glimpse of what he can do, gave you a glimpse of the potential that he has. Now, from what we've been gathering, now this keeps throwing me off. That match day -2 slip cordon practice keeps throwing me off because ahead of that Leeds test as well, the slip cordon, whoever was in that, made it to the team. Now, it does not make sense why Karun Nair was in that first slip, taking catches, simulating the slip cordon for 20-25 minutes when he's not in the team.
Yeah, I mean, and that is an important point. Having said that, the flip side to that is, or the counterpoint to that is, why would a Sai Sudarshan and Captain Gill do that drill 15 hours before the start of a test match? Why would you want to do that drill if you're not fielding in that position? My counterpoint to that is Sai Sudarshan could have done a different drill. He was doing first slip, he was doing third slip. If you are not fielding in that position, why would you do that? Why would the fielding... And by the way, you have seen that video. Once again, you can go and check that video. The head coach, the chairman of selectors, the batting consultant, all of them were standing about 20 meters back, observing very, very closely what the captain and Sai Sudarshan were doing at the slip. So the counterpoint to the point that Gargi raised about Karun Nair is this one. So there are a lot of things that one needs to ponder about. Now, you've heard of Ryan Tendishkar. You've seen him bat at the nets. You've also seen him bowl. Can we say with certainty now that a Shardul Thakur is giving way to Washington Sundar?
I think so. I think so, with the way that things are looking.
Is that fair on Shardul Thakur?
No, it's not. No, it's not, because when Shubman Gill came out and said security, this is not security, this is not long rope. Shardul Thakur can swing the ball. When he gets that new ball, he will do damage. Unfortunately, he did not get that in the first test. You're seeing that every time he got a few overs and he only bowled 6 overs in each innings. If you look at that, it was after 40 overs had already been bowled. So what do you leave for Shardul Thakur? There was not much.
In fact, just to add to this, Shubman actually concurred that the ball gets soft.
Exactly. So he spoke about it. So they very well know what has happened there. And still, if you're dropping a Shardul Thakur, it's unfair. I think it's unfair. But when you're looking at 2 spinners on this pitch, and everyone has spoken about it now, Ryan Tendashkar, Shubman Gill, so it looks like there's no other option for you to drop but to drop a Shardul Thakur.
And you know, Shubman Gill also made this point that unlike the faster bowlers, the spinners will be able to better contain England. He said, the 2 spinners kind of gives me control. That's what Shubman Gill said, that the 2 spinners give him a bit of control. Is that something India is looking at? And that brings us back to our starting point, that is India a little defensive after Leeds, that your spinners are giving you control. A Shardul Thakur, who is a more wicket-taking option, giving way to a spinning option in Washington Sundar to exert more control, not concede boundaries, keep the runs in check. Maybe just sort of keep England and then attack with your faster bowlers with the new ball or the second new ball. Is that something that Shubman Gill is thinking about? Because with Shardul, first innings 6 overs, second innings 10-ish or 10 overs or so, but 4 overs when the match was almost gone. Now, is that one match an index of bringing in or dropping someone? Will Shardul Thakur be justly unlucky? Will he be unfortunate in being overlooked for this particular test match? Plenty of questions that you know, all of a sudden one defeat where India competed till the very end has opened all of this. I was a little taken aback when Shubman said that two spinners give me control in containing runs.
And the exact words that he said was कि जब लीड्स में भी जडेजा भाई बॉलिंग कर रहे थे तब एक एंड से लग रहा था कि अब विकेट आएगा because he was not leaking any runs, he was putting on pressure, and that is the reason why they want spinners from both ends, so that they dry up the runs. Is that what you're looking for? Are you looking to dry up runs? Is that a priority over a wicket taking Kuldeep Yadav? He can also dry up runs, but you're not really understanding why Shubman Gill is why Washington Sundar is the front runner. Is it because of the batting? Like Ryan said, he's been batting very well in the nets. So I think that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, let's keep this conversation open-ended. As we said, we'll join you exactly an hour and 45 minutes from now, 2 p.m. India. 2 p.m. India time, mark your calendars. We will be live from outside the Edgbaston cricket ground. Our entire team will be live. In Hindi, it will be Rohit, Shubhayan and the rest. In Bangla, it will be Trisha, Rohan and Debashish. In English, it will be Gargi and me. Massive test match. So many unanswered questions, even with a couple of hours to go to the test match. Is it Kuldeep? Is it not? Is it Jasprit Bumrah who was told available, but we more or less know he's not there? Will it be Arshdeep and Akash? Will it be Prasidh? Will it be NKR? Will it be Karun? All of these questions hanging in the balance, and more importantly, a 2-0 down, and then Lords and Manchester becomes a real uphill task. India can't lose this. Make no mistake, India can't lose this. And how do they approach this test match? What will be the next 5 days for Indian cricket? Massive, absolutely massive. Join you back in about an hour 40. Thank you very much.